I mean, the wedding dress was something that I'd thought about since season 1. Like, we talked about it in fittings with Ella Moroznik in season 1 about what it might look like. And the process of it was so much more collaborative than I ever could have imagined. I really adore John Glaser. I, met him at my first fitting back in 2019. I was so happy he was designing this season because he's genuinely a genius. And he's so funny, he's so dry. I just adore him. But he said to me, what do you want for your wedding dress? And I was like, what designer says that?
So we're just geniuses, that's all.
He's a genius.
There's 2 ways to approach it. You could go over the top to be very complicated, lots of layers, lots of trim, lots of embellishment, lots. But we decided to go the opposite direction. Because in this season, Penelope has exposed herself as Lady Whistledown. So there's nothing to hide. So we wanted the dress to be as simple as possible. So it's just her body to show her power as to who she is now.
Although the dress looks, like John's saying, the dress looks simple, actually it's really technical. Quite often it's the opposite.
You can't hide anything. It's all, it's exposed. Every seam is exposed. Everything is exposed.
It's a bias cut. It's very unforgiving if you get it wrong. We draped some fabric over Nicola right back in the beginning, just to, when we did the first corset fitting, to get an idea on the necklines.
Like, the first thing that we did was I had a corset on and they came and just like put a piece of fabric just on the corset to how it might look. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be so epic.
These sketches are by a sketch artist named Tom Rotwood, but we hired him because he draws in the old-fashioned style, which is what we wanted.
And these were then presented as an idea to the producers.
Not a technical sketch. It's a feeling of how we wanted it to look and to feel. This dress looks like a simple thing. It involved the people that made the veil, the people that made the net, the guy that made the corset, the guy that made the train, the people that made the dress, the people that sourced the fabric, a sketch artist, a lot of research, the actress. It was a lot went into it to make something look simple and easy. Yeah.
How should we start this? Do you want the story with it?
Yeah.
You want it all? Okay. So my name's Debs and I'm one of the cutters on Bridgerton. And this is Fiona.
I'm Fee.
Who's also a cutter on Bridgerton, and we are responsible for helping John develop the dress. We're responsible for taking a concept and turning it into a realisation.
Take one.
We came to work and there was all these design images on the table. And we went, okay. And he went, this is what we're going to do. And we took lots of different concepts and different ideas from the mood boards and all of his inspiration, and we sort of started pulling them together. Each garment is fully bespoke. Every single thing that you see is either hand finished or placed through a machine and then hand finished. So there's a lot of time and care taken in developing these, from the moment that you're cutting them and patterning them to the moment where they're actually in the hands of the skilled specialists that we have here. So before I even start cutting, there's probably a good 3, maybe 4 weeks on this dress alone, and we will probably spend about another 3 or 4 weeks on the dress. So these dresses do take a long time to develop, but they look so beautifully simple. And I think that's where the skill is lent. Now, when we produce a prototype or a toile, that's brought into the fitting so we can kind of check fit exactly what we're doing with the garment, how it sits on the actress, if there's too much fullness, if we need a little bit extra fabric here and there. It also allows the designer to be able to understand where our mindset is in relation to the design concept and the ideas that they've kind of had. Yeah. And when we get to fit that toile, that's that first moment of realisation where you suddenly just go, okay, we've either got it or we haven't got it. And you usually get that feel from the designer and from the actress or the actor themselves straight away.
In our near 3 years, how many fittings do you reckon you've been in?
God. What do we reckon? We do
50?
We do 4 blocks, 5 fittings a block. So what's 5? Say 25 fittings a season.
3 seasons. And also, I was the first actor cast, so the first actor fit. So I remember everyone was really excited to have an actor to put costumes on.
Quite frankly.
I think that is the bodice.
There we go. This is looking fantastic at the front.
So that it's kind of more rounded and then tucks in a bit tighter. You can't see the corset through, so that's good.
No, it's right.
Yes.
Because that's what I was most worried about.
Because we pick the sleeve head up to make it
Okay,
flat.
so you've sort of done that first one
Yeah,
already.
so that way you get this lovely bellow.
I feel like I need some flowers.
You will get flowers.
You will have flowers.
I've never gotten married. So do you hold flowers through the whole ceremony? No.
Not all
Pass
of it,
them
no,
to
pass them.
somebody.
My bridesmaids,
Yeah,
Philip
like
and
you
Prudence.
kind of get
Who might drop them on the floor.
Yeah, who would not want to do that job?
Okay, and then...
And I'm splitting them up so that they're not so dense.
Too late to change your mind now, Colin.
Yeah, this is lovely. This is lovely because when you get that light coming through at Greenwich as well.
Yeah.
No,
It's really emotional. Like when I had my first fittings for this
feels like it should
season,
come here.
I knew it was going to be a
As long as
transformation,
it's
but I
not
didn't know what it was going to look like.
through-
And then the very first
that's
fitting is
what I
literally
want to
just fabrics. There's no dresses made.
How it's
So when they started draping the fabric on me, I nearly started crying.
I remember that.
Yeah, I got
It was
tears.
amazing,
Yeah,
wasn't
it was just like, whoa.
It was like Penelope's awakening.
Yeah, you're like, oh, she's going to be just this like new person.
You're standing back, you're getting close, you're analysing and evaluating. But then what the key thing about the fitting is that you've got to be able to take all that information out of the fitting and you've got to get it back on the workbench and then you've got to take it into its next chapter, don't you?
You kind of almost need to recreate back on the stand or whatever form you have exactly how it was sitting on your actress.
When this comes back here, this just stops,
This
right?
is going to stop, so that's going to be a dead stop.
Right.
The measurements are taken every couple of months if you're on a job for a year, because obviously people's bodies fluctuate and their sizing will always change. We keep our measurement sheets on the walls here so that we always have easy access. And as I say, we've got various measurements.
We were coming up with the whole ideas about the wedding dress, knowing that Stephen would be making the corset as well. So knowing that he would be structuring something, and we had an idea about the shape that he would be working to because it was based upon one he had made earlier for her. But all of our work was sort of resting off the back of what he was making and coming up with and designing at the same time.
There was a corset that was made by Stephen that fit perfectly. It was made to my measurements. Like it's like true couture.
My name's Stephen Williams. I've been part of the Bridgerton team since season 1. I actually made the wedding dress in season 1 for Daphne. So I've got a bit of a history with the wedding dresses. You know, the foundation is the corsetry, and that's all been completely redesigned for Nicola because she's been on a journey with her fitness and her character has evolved. So her figure and her shape and silhouette has completely evolved. So there's all sorts of contraptions and underwear, and it's the framework that all the costumes hang on. Until I made the corsetry, you know, Debs can't start cutting her dress. So I had to work ahead of them in a way to get the corset style and the shaping and everything, that then you could start trying dresses on over the corsetry and then those could be tweaked. It's been a really nice thing to be part of the foundations, but then to get to do a bit of work on the dress as well. I produced all the kind of tulle elements and the train and the floaty fairy tale stuff that went on the top of Deb's beautiful dress. John certainly gave me quite a lot of free rein with the details of the corsetry and the fabric choices, and it was time to ditch the yellow and the pink and to come into something a little bit more sophisticated. And Deb's team and one of my colleagues made a lot of her costumes last season, and it was like a purposeful thing with these kind of clashing colours, and Nicola showed quite a few pictures of season 2 to season 3, the comparables, you know, and it's quite a transformation, the hair, the makeup, everything.
So this was me on Tuesday, and today is Thursday.
Evolution is quite something.
It's great.
The gooseberry.
I texted a picture to Luke, and I'm like, why didn't he want to marry her? What's wrong with her? The Easter egg.